Hello everybody, I am Daniel Clemens, the HEMA Vtuber, and today I have a sparring highlights reel to show off to you. Some exciting things about this sparring session. I was trying out a full steel kit, minus the steel weapon, that I'm going to be wearing in an upcoming tournament. This will be my first steel tournament, and I'm so excited about it. Meanwhile, my sparring partner Paul has a katana that he has just recently gotten. So we start off this sparring session with a quick exchange that really doesn't show off much of our capability. I managed to catch him in the arm, but there was not too many crisp movements or anything definitive yet. Once again, just some quick exchanges. And here, I really like my footwork on this one. I definitely could have just slipped the blow rather than actually taking a full step back, but I thought it was a pretty nice exchange. Jump back, block the hit, get his arm. So for this next exchange, you could see that Paul attacks with his katana raised just a bit too high, and I'm able to take advantage of this and snipe his wrist as I am moving away. So this next exchange, I think, is just good, solid fencing all around. This next one, I figured out that the Go Now swords bind really, really well against plastic weaponry. Probably they bind even better than against other Go Now swords. So if you want to practice binding techniques on a budget, get one Go Now and one plastic sword, and you can. I managed to catch his sword in the air and get a hold of his wrist, and then there was nothing he could do to stop my attack. Of course, I cannot show off one good exchange I have without also showing off a pretty good exchange for the other guy. He got me right across the face. And I think he was able to make that hit because he did not raise up his katana to slice down at me like it was some anime. Instead, he popped it forward and it bypassed all of my defenses. Now, this exchange, I try to aim for his knee, and I do manage to hit it, but in such a way that he is able to attack back very easily. Hit right across the back of the head. Now here I am sneaking closer, hoping to get an easy hand shot, and he tries to thrust, but I void it and attack his wrist. We are changing up stances now and doing some experimentation, and I was just able to get a brush of his hands. Here Paul is using what's often called a from the roof guard. I don't know the Japanese term for it, but I was fairly able to defend myself and managed to eventually just catch him off guard with a hand hit. There are a lot of techniques that involve grabbing your opponent's blade, but that was none of them. If that had been a real fight, I would have had my hand cut in half. So that was not very good, and I need to work on that. Here I have started using a hanging guard because generally that seems to work well for me. Unfortunately, I did not anticipate how much added leverage a second hand can give you, and Paul manages to push past it. Once we were done playing around with the katana, we decided to show off Paul's skills with the double Kali sticks. These were a lot harder to fight against, just because he's been training with them for much longer, and I am not used to dealing with double weapons. I am much more trained with single swords. First exchange, he comes in and hits me, but I managed to get him right in the head. I don't think either of us really won those exchanges. But you can see how much faster he is and how much harder it is for me to control the actual fight. Managed to snipe his arm there, but he was very close to overwhelming me with the 2 sticks. Once again, we kind of got a double on that one. Both of us are pretty cautious right now. And I try to traverse and strike, but he manages to avoid my blade and come back and hit me in the arm. I started using the medium guard, and it was very effective. He was still getting me, but I was feeling like I was doing a lot better than when we started. And these last couple of exchanges, they happened at the end of the day, so we were both very tired. But I was really able to take advantage of having a longer weapon. So he came in, and I thrust it right at his face. And that's it. That was our sparring for the week. Some thoughts. I think the katana is a good weapon, but if you are not specifically trained in its use, it has some very big drawbacks. I have also figured out some changes that I need to make to my sparring gear before the tournament. Other than that, this was a lot of fun, and I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as me and my friend enjoyed making this video. Thank you very much for watching. I am Daniel Clemens, the HEMA Vtuber, and remember to like and subscribe.